of yourself, be mindful of your wealth, be mindful of your health. You need it, just take a breath. It's your life, live it, be your best. Stay box free with your Mindful Moxies.
Welcome. We are so excited to be here. This is Mindful Moxies. My name is Adrianna Foster.
And I am Luly B. Carreras.
Yes, and we are here to connect with you and to have a great time, because in Mindful Moxies, we embrace the messy realities of growth so we can experience a life of clarity, courage, and grace.
And that's exactly what a moxie is. For those of you that are wondering, what is a moxie?
Yes.
It's somebody who has courage, that determination, that, you know, that fire inside of you, that wisdom and that grace. And that's why we love this word.
Yes, we do.
I think what's so crazy is, if you know me, you know that I love marketing.
Yes, of course.
And I love ideas. And when I fall in love with an idea, I just go for it. And sometimes I'm not sure how.
For sure.
But I'm focused on the why, which will be another episode. However, Mindful Moxies was a domain that I've had for about 4 years.
I love it.
And then when the idea of this podcast resurrected from 3 years ago, that we've been talking about doing something together and collaborating, I was like, Adrianna, I have it.
Yes.
It's Mindful Moxies. I've had the domain. Here we are.
Absolutely. And it is amazing how, we both came together with our expertise, with our, and awesome, because we both do the same thing in very different ways.
Yes.
This is why you are one of my besties, and I love you with all my heart.
Me
and I
too,
am
right
so
back at
happy
you.
to be here. We're going to have a lot of fun. Our purpose is to educate you, to help you embrace the messy realities of life so you can find your courage, find your clarity and your peace, and to have a lot of fun.
To have a lot of fun and to equip you.
Yes.
Right. I love the word equip, because I feel like we all have a toolbox.
Yes.
Right. And so sometimes we have the screwdriver in the toolbox, but we're using it as if it was a hammer.
Yes.
And what if we learned how to really use the screwdriver, right? And what if I handed you a wrench instead? And that's probably not the best. That's probably not the best analogy. We got to come up with a better one.
No, but it is.
But you know.
And I love this because Luly and I have been working together for years. As you guys, if you know who we are, thank you. We love you. But if you don't, I am a clinical hypnotherapist and I'm the CEO of Loud Women Nation. And I work with a lot of women. And Luly is...
I am a life and business strategist, and I help women business owners create a business and life of significance.
So we've been working together because I help her clients unlock those internal shadowy parts of themselves that do not allow them to step into success, to make money, to feel wonderful. And then Luly helps my clients when they're like, okay, I'm healed. What am I going to do with my life? How do I share?
Right.
How do I become loud and share my talents with the world? And then they go to Luly.
Yeah.
So with our experience, look, I get goosebumps.
I know, me too.
With our experience of working together for a while, like, I don't know, I met you 2015, almost 10 years, Luly.
That's insane.
That's insane.
And I'm only 32.
I wish I had like and we're going to do that for next episode. The sound effect. Dun, dun, dun. So what I wanted to say is that with all the experience that we have working with women, we came together and we said we have to put a toolbox for women so they can find that, first of all, that they can identify what is their main tool.
That's right.
What serves them.
Yes.
How can they build the life that they see, envision, and desire and deserve?
And deserve.
So that's why we're here. You're Mindful Moxie.
Because the truth is that, I really do believe that we were all born with gifts, and they come in the form of skills and talents and abilities. And it is your responsibility to share them with this world. It is not an option. It is your responsibility and your duty.
Not an option.
Not
Luly
an option.
Dun, dun, dun. I swear to God, I'm going to find these little things. Anyway, so today we want to talk about Something super powerful. There is a book that I'm sure that a lot of you have read that is called The Four Agreements from Don Miguel Ruiz. I read that book when I was probably like 14, 15 years old. And it changed my life. And it's an amazing way of seeing life, of understanding how to be the best version of it. However, what we really want to tell you is, Luly, tell them.
Which one do you suck at?
I love it.
So what I'll do is I'll share with you the Four Agreements, because some of you may have read it.
Yes.
Some of you may have never heard of this book.
Exactly.
And maybe you're like, Adrianna, you read it a long ass time ago, and maybe you need a quick refresher.
That's not so long.
Over a decade.
Okay, fine.
Okay, over a decade. Fine. All right. So the Four Agreements. Number 1 is to be impeccable with your word. Be impeccable with your word. If you're saying you're going to do something, you're going to do it. Also, it means to use the words that you use with intention and choosing your words carefully. I think that's really important.
Yes.
Number 2 is don't take anything personally.
Dun, dun, dun.
Can you tell the one I suck at? That was like so obvious. Don't take anything personally. So feedback is neutral. Feedback is neutral. Don't take anything personally, right? Even the work that you do, the actions that you take, people's feedback or people's recommendations, or even people's reactions.
Yeah.
Don't take them personally. Number 3 is don't make assumptions. So I don't know about you, but in the 5th grade, I remember seeing the word assume, ASSUME. And it was, when you assume, what do we do, Adrianna? What do we
make
do?
an ass out of you and me. Should be like a commercial.
Totally. So not to make assumptions.
Yeah, that's a hard one. That's the one that I suck at.
So we'll talk about that in a little bit. That's the one she sucks at. And then the last one is always do your best. And do your best in everything, right? Because if you're going to be impeccable with your word, then that means that you're going to honor the thing that you said you were going to do. And you're going to honor also yourself, by the way, with be impeccable with your word, and always do your best, and don't make assumptions, and don't take it personally. It's not only for others, but it's also for yourself. So with the always do your best, I've created a lot of awareness lately in my own life where I've noticed that I have an opportunity to take it to the next step.
Yeah.
And a silly example is, with a pair of earrings that maybe I've been wearing all day that are heavy and have been, dragging for a while, and I'll get home and I'll drop them off on the kitchen counter, and then I'll leave them there.
Yeah.
Right? Well, always doing my best means taking off my earrings and going to my jewelry box and putting the earrings away.
Yes.
Right? That's always doing my best.
The 3 more steps.
The 3 more steps.
3 more steps that for some reason we don't do. And when you have ADHD like moi, it's like your brain is like, this, because you're going to die if you do it.
It's too much. It's too much.
Yes.
And that's a tiny, tiny example, but I think one that we can all resonate with, of like where
can we finish the race?
Where can
I
we
love that.
complete something, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I love that. And actually, this is also kid appropriate. My daughter, 12-year-old, she has read it and we talk about it. So this is a great book to start if you're starting in personal development. And if you are, a pro, that's a great book to go to as well, because it's so simple yet so profound. And it is very important as well to understand that you don't have to be perfect at all of them. Actually, none of us are. None of us are perfect. None of us are, the person that can do it all. Like, that's completely, if you are expecting to that perfection, like, no, amiguita.
Another
Stop
episode. Another episode. Let me write that down.
Hashtag, we're going to have some hashtags here. Hashtag, stop it.
Stop it.
Stop it right now.
Hashtag stop it.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Right? So we really want to talk about, what do you suck at?
What do we suck at? I love to celebrate. Like, I
Yes.
celebrate everything.
Yes.
And I think it's also important to honor everything.
Yes.
Just as much as it is and that's actually something that you helped me through. And throughout these episodes, you'll learn more about each of our journeys and our stories. But for me, I think what happened to me in my own life was I am naturally a very positive person. And as a result, sometimes my positivity got in the way of allowing myself to feel the things.
Yes.
And so Adrianna helped me understand that if I really wanted to be positive about it, I got to embrace the pain and embrace the suck. And that's what we're going to be doing right now, because we're going to embrace some suck. And mine is don't take anything personally.
Yes.
Because
that's a hard one, Luly, for everybody, not just,
because you know what? Everything hurts my feelings, bro.
Ay, pobrecita.
Everything hurts my feelings. And it's crazy because I've gotten so much better at this. Now it only hurts my feelings for like 7 seconds.
You have a timer like, wait. 3, I hate you. Okay, I got it.
Or,
we can be friends.
and it's not even, I hate you. It's more like I offended them. They misunderstood me. I'm too much, right? Like the itty bitty shitty committee.
And this is exactly what I was going to say. It's really important to understand where the suck comes from, right? So yes, we have to embrace the suck. We have to sit on our shit, like I always tell my clients. However, we also need to understand where does it come from. So for you, taking things personally is not because you are too sensitive and you want to be like that. No, hell no. Nobody is like that. It is because part of your history is having that wound of not being heard and understood. So when somebody tells you something specifically, you get triggered. This is for everybody that, if you're watching us, think about, sometimes when somebody does something or tells you something, especially in relationships, right? People that are close to you, and you get super triggered. I promise you, if you follow the emotion, you can find the place where that started. So for you, Luly, I think that there must be something internally that is still telling you, I have to be accepted or heard, or I can't be el problema.
Right. I can't be the problem, right?
Problem.
Well, and I think also the way that I was loved was by achieving, right?
Right.
And I'm super grateful. I was raised by extraordinary parents. I had a beautiful childhood, but that doesn't excuse or what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, it doesn't excuse challenges or any triggers or trauma that I may have experienced,
Exactly.
right? And so for me, it was very much like you achieve, you do the right thing, you're a good girl, then you will be applauded, then you will be loved. And this was, again, this is no shade to my parents. I'm the daughter of warriors. I have incredible parents, and I believe, by the way, P.S. that I would like to believe that most parents do the best they can with what they have. I really do think that's
but we do
a universal thing.
Not just parents. Yeah. We all
humans
do the best we can with what we have. And
sure.
I would even add something. We do the best we can with what we have and what we know.
And what we know.
At
That's
the
right.
moment.
That's right.
You don't know how many people I see in my office with one-on-one hypnotherapy that tell me, oh, I didn't have any trauma. My parents were amazing. And I love to teach this in Loud Women Nation is yes and.
I love
yes,
and.
Your parents were amazing and you were not loved the way that you needed to be loved. You were loved by achieving. You had to work hard for love. Like there's so many things, so many mistakes that we make, but not because we want to, but because your parents probably didn't have parents that helped them and vice versa. And actually, the further back you go, the worse it gets in terms of emotional education.
Absolutely.
So that's why it's super important to sit on on what you suck, but also have compassion. Compassion and kindness towards, I suck at this. Like for me, is making assumptions. I make assumptions almost all the time, and I catch myself, and I've gotten much better at it. But making assumptions for me is because in my experience, in my childhood, I was raised by beautiful parents, and my dad has narcissistic tendencies. So his narcissistic behavior of wanting perfection all the time, I had to be able to predict situations in order for me to feel safe. So in order for me to predict situations, I had to be in control all the time. And my assumption comes from wanting to control, wanting to know the future so I can protect myself.
Right.
So it's not because I'm trying to be an asshole. It's because I have trauma, people. And we all do. We all do.
That's right.
And it's okay. It's part of the human consciousness. It's part of what we're here to do. Every agreement that you suck at, it's an opportunity to get better at it. as well.
So I'm wondering if you can think about a time, maybe even recently, where you've made an assumption and you've caught yourself like, because I think that's what's so beautiful about this, right? Is like, I love that we get to be authentic and we're having fun with this about the things that we suck at.
Yeah.
But really the opportunity, like you said earlier, is we're increasing our awareness and then we're just paying attention and we're not judging ourselves because this is part of the human experience.
Absolutely.
You know, I and like I said, now it bothers me. It hurts my feelings for 7 seconds because I honor when it comes up. I remind and because you're my hypnotherapist, I know what I need to do and I have the tools, right? And that's the thing. I have the tools, I have the screwdriver, and I know how to use it.
And she knows how to use the
and
wrench
it
too.
right and
Okay,
and I think now you threw me off.
I'm so sorry.
But I think because I know how to use the tool,
Yeah.
I work extra hard on not judging myself and not going, here I go again.
Yes.
I suck.
Yes.
Why am I taking it personally? Why am I letting this person make me angry? Now it comes up and I'm like, okay, this hurt my feelings. Feedback is neutral. This is my experience. Let me feel it. Do you need to cry? Let's cry. Now wipe those tears. You're good. We're good. We move on. Right? And honoring how long that might take me and not judging that, I think, has been a really special experience for me. Yeah, very special experience.
That was beautiful.
Yeah. Well,
thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, because that is exactly what it takes to heal.
Yeah.
That being able to hold space for the biggest, most uncomfortable parts of yourself, the parts that you are so afraid of, that you're ashamed of, right? When I read the book the first time, I felt so much guilt because I didn't have the tools.
Right.
And because I was not being, impeccable with my words or all these things. And it took me a little bit to learn these tools and to get to the place where I could see myself with the most compassion and acceptance. And that is what heals. Mm-hmm. Healing is learning how to love yourself for who you are and understanding that we all have the good, the not so good, and the ugly. Mm-hmm. So what you just did right now, it's a beautiful process of self-love. This is self-love. And it's crazy because you will see that when you give yourself, when you hold space for yourself this way, this part of you that wants to make assumptions or wants to take everything personal because it's so strong, this trigger is so strong, it starts lowering.
Yeah, it sure does. Right.
Yeah.
Now it's 7 seconds for me.
Now it's 7 seconds.
It used
but
to
you
be
know
7
why?
days or 7 weeks
months.
or 7 months.
But you know why? Because your inner child, the one that is hurt, the only thing that it needs is to be heard.
That's right.
To be heard and accepted. It's like if you have a child, right? Or a teenager. This is huge. I have my daughter's turning 13 and I'm learning how to not fix.
Oh, yeah.
How to teach her to sit in what she sucks and look at it and be like, yeah, it sucks.
It sucks.
Without fixing it. And it is incredible how she goes through it and 10, 15, 20 minutes later, she's fine. As if nothing ever happened. So thank you for saying that. If you just joined us, if you are just clicking in this podcast and you're listening, we are the Mindful Moxies. My name is Adrianna Foster and
I'm Luly
Carreras, and we are your host of today. So to answer your question, right? I have this great story of making an assumption. That it was awesome. I had a client that she went through a really, really hard time, and she got to the space where she was resisting the sessions and she didn't want to work with me anymore, and she quit and she asked for a refund. And I don't give refunds, but I understood her space, and I made an assumption that if I asked her to push a little harder, to keep working, to shift, her mindset, she was not going to do it. And I didn't ask her. And 1 year later, she came back and she actually resented me for that. She was like, you didn't push me harder. And I was like, damn it. She's like, you would have pushed me. I would have done it. And she gave me another chance and we worked together. And today she is one of my biggest referral sources and success stories.
Wow.
So I learned very quickly that I cannot pretend to know the future. even though uncertainty for me it might be uncomfortable because of my past history, I have to be okay with being uncomfortable so I can not make assumptions and learn how to receive, because that's a big part of it.
What a great example, and thank you. I mean, I think that's what's so beautiful about this is being a Moxie means that we get to be courageous, right?
Yes.
And we're going to be courageous and sharing with you guys the ugly.
The ugly. But we love the ugly.
Yeah, well, it's because it's in the goo that the caterpillar becomes the butterfly, people. It's in the goo. But I just appreciate that example so much, because how many of us might be, business owners or entrepreneurs, or maybe even in our work or in our marriages or in our parenting journey. Where are we making assumptions?
Yes.
And where are we not providing clarity in the way that we're communicating?
Yes.
And where are we not standing for what we believe in or what we know might be better for somebody out of fear for their response or fear of them not liking us?
Yes.
I remember, I know. I remember a coach of mine over a decade ago saying to me, and I don't want to be salesy. All this nonsense, I don't want to be salesy. And to your point, I don't want to push that hard. And so she flat out asked me a question. She said, what's more important to you? To be liked or to serve?
Luly, mira cómo estoy. Mira cómo estoy.
Hashtag.
Okay, there's
response.
another hashtag. Hashtag, mira cómo estoy.
Mira cómo estoy.
No. Hashtag para pelos. Courtesy of Betsy Guerra. Hashtag para pelos.
Para pelos.
Move on.
And I think that for me, I often say this thing about, like, we're going to flip the pancake, right? We're going to shift the perspective. And I think for me, that was a big flip the pancake moment, where now when I am in the process of making an assumption or even being impeccable with my word or doing my best, or the one that I get to work on the most of not taking it personally, I get to remind myself, really, because that was the key.
Yeah.
I'm going to take it personally if you say no to joining Boost, my community of women business owners. I might take it personally if I'm not selected as the keynote for your next corporate event. And the truth is that it is not personal, because feedback is neutral. It might not have been the right time. I might have a lesson from that. And I always feel like lessons make great stories, right? And the truth is that it is more important to me to create impact than it is to be liked. And for me, the second that I heard that question and I was able to fully embrace it, everything changed for me. I feel like I became so much more authentic, and I embraced fully and wholly who I am as a result of that. It was a really beautiful experience.
That is a beautiful example. Beautiful example. And it takes me really deeply into how important it is for us to have courage to sit on what we suck at.
That's right.
What's more important for you, right? And this is for you, our viewers.
For you.
What's more important for you? Feel comfortable, or to be the best you can be so you can serve at your best? To be the best you can be, to be the best mom, wife, partner, student, teacher, whatever it is that the role that you're playing. What's more important for you? Being comfortable or serving at the greatest? And I think that that's going to be the question that's going to close today's episode.
And that we get to embrace the suck, girl.
We get to embrace the suck.
And remind ourselves that it's in the goo. It's in the goo that the caterpillar becomes the butterfly.
It's in the freaking goo that you find. This is why I tell my clients all the time, it's in the shadow that you find the light. The light lives within the shadow. And it takes time, and it's horrible, and it's not awakening. No, it's going to suck. And that's okay. And that's why we are here to remind you that you are strong enough, that you're brave enough, that you can do this. And if you feel like you can't, call us, because we will support you. We will empower you, and we will teach you how to be a mindful Moxie.
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you for being with us in our first ever episode of Mindful Moxies. My name is Adrianna Foster.
And I am Luly B. Carreras.
And we'll see you next week. Thank you. Mindful Moxie. Mindful Moxie.
mindful of your wealth, be mindful of your health. You need it, just take a breath. It's your life, live it, be your best. Stay box free with your mindful moxies.